Hello, I'm Dr. Steve Flores. As superintendent of schools at Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District, I'm constantly reminded of the talents our students possess. Whether it's reading about a group of Stewart Place Elementary students who organize a fundraiser for our armed forces or visiting with the state champion Milam Elementary chess team, I know we're on the right path to being an exemplary school district. The talents of our students and staff are what will make this district a leader for this community. Together, we will continue charting our course to becoming the very best in the Rio Grande Valley, the state, the nation, no matter what obstacles cross our path. The Texas State Legislature is currently deliberating on the state's biennium budget. The men and women charged with leading our great state are working to account for between a $25 and $28 billion revenue shortfall. Public education will not be immune to the pending cuts to the state's budget. As HCISD's leadership prepares for these impending cuts, this could take away as much as $9.8 billion away from public schools in Texas. We are preparing 3 phases at our local level. Texas provides about $100 million in funds to HCISD's general operating budget. If the state cuts our funding by 5%, we would enact Phase 1, eliminating about $5 million from our budget. We would implement Phase 2 if the state reduces our funding by 10%, which would eliminate about $10 million from our budget. Phase 3 would be as a result of a 15% cut in funding, about $15 million. That would be our worst case scenario. Based on the information we are gathering from our sources in Austin, the legislature is expected to make cuts of at least 5% to public education. Our business department has been working with the board, the superintendent staff, and a budget advisory committee in finalizing our Phase 1 plan. Under Phase 1, we are looking to cut costs by tightening our belts, not by a reduction in force. Some of our proposed saving strategies include a $200,000 savings by consolidating the number of campuses offering summer school, a savings of about $700,000 through a 50% reduction to our technology department. We will do that by increasing our replacement cycle for equipment from 4 years to 6 years. We will also be deleting stipends for technologists, webmasters, and adjusting the number of computer technicians in the district through attrition. A cut to our central office operating budget will be by 10 to 15% and would result in a savings of about $600,000. We are looking into other such measures, such as reducing our health insurance costs by reducing our premiums or requiring partial payment from employees for benefits. That would save an additional $500,000. Also being examined is a cut to overtime and extra duty pay by about 20%. This would result in $100,000 savings annually. Realignment of our custodial staff could affect as many as 10 full-time positions, which would save $220,000, and these 10 positions would be through attrition only. Again, no cuts in personnel. A modification of the purchase of new vehicles and buses would save us about $322,000. A suspension of capital outlay purchases for 2 years would also cut a $350,000 savings into our budget. It is our goal to preserve jobs and to avoid cuts to funding that directly impacts classroom instruction. However, Phase 1 does involve some cuts to campus budgets, including a transition from a block schedule to a traditional schedule at our high schools, including a requirement for teachers to teach an extra conference period. This would result in a savings of $1.7 million. A reduction of campus operating budgets by between 5 and 10% would save us about $163,000 to roughly $326,000. Recommendations from a budget advisory committee composed of administrators from across the district have been passed along to our board and our superintendent staff for review. HCISD's leadership will be well equipped for the challenging decisions that lie ahead. However, no decisions have been made as of right now. The legislative session ends in May unless, of course, a special session is needed to accommodate this year's budget crisis. We do anticipate we will have more concrete information at that time. As we continue this process, you can find updates on our district website at www.hcisd.org/makeeducationapriority.html. There is no doubt these are challenging times for these states' educators, but I am confident that in our own backyard, here at HCISD, we have the right people in place to make the very best decisions which put our students first. Thank you for your time and your continued commitment and dedication to education in Harlingen, Primera, and Combs.